Welcome to a brand new set of Devos that we're starting this week called What's in a Name? My wife and I had, with each of the three of our children, had a large argument over their names. Not with Evangeline, our daughter, our firstborn, but with Levi and with Sammy. We could not settle on the names. So with Sammy, we were in the hospital room, and she was getting ready to give birth, and literally I'm sitting there with the birth certificate, and we're arguing as the nurse is there, like, you should probably give me that birth certificate because you're going to have birth to this kid. And so we were going back and forth about what his name was going to be. Now, it's unfortunate that in our culture, particularly in Western North American culture, names aren't given the weight that they were given back in the ancient Oriental culture in which the scriptures were written. And when we look at names, they had real specific implications, and especially when it comes to God, because in the Old Testament, the names that God allows himself to be called, or the names that God records of himself through those that wrote the scriptures, are of particular interest because they show us parts of his character. They reveal parts of him that we need to appreciate more to understand the wholeness of who he is. So we're going to be looking at these names, some of these names, because if you can grasp what God was trying to say when he allowed himself to be called these names, then you're going to have a greater appreciation of the God that we worship every week. So I'm going to jump right into this one with a little bit of that introduction out of the way. And we're going to look at a name that, again, these are in Hebrew, and we're going to kind of make them as simple as we can understand. I'm not going to necessarily define them for you as much as I'm going to give you the implications of what the name was meaning at the time. The first name is El Shaddai. And El Shaddai has this implication of power, of God being all-powerful. Now, the first time that we see this mentioned is in Genesis chapter 17. And Genesis shows a man named Abram, who was selected by God. Abram is a man who's a pagan man who's worshiping other gods. God chooses to reveal himself to Abram, and God has this unbelievable plan of how he's going to bring a nation of people through the line of this man named Abram. Now, the problem with this is Abram is up in his years, and his wife has no children yet. And if anyone needed to know that there was power in this God that he's worshiping, it was Abram. Because how was there ever going to be a hope that there'd be a chance that God could allow his wife, Abram's wife, to become pregnant? But look with me in Genesis chapter 17, verse 1. It says, when Abram was 99 years old, the Lord appeared to Abram and said to him, I am God Almighty. Folks, there's something simple about this that we just might need to spend a day in our devotion time thinking about. When Abram is facing the latter part of his life and thinking like there's no chance of him having children, appearing is this God who claims one thing: I am almighty. I am all powerful. I am bigger than your biggest problem. I think at times we forget about that. I think at times when we find ourselves at the tattered edges of the things that are bothering us the most, we neglect to realize that God is almighty. He's bigger than this. He's more powerful. He's more able to do something here than we can. We fail to realize his power. And God, as a reminder, says, my name is El Shaddai, all-powerful. So today, think about him revealing himself as El Shaddai, the powerful one. God Almighty, who is able to do more in your situation than you could ever hope or dream.